Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 508 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and joining me in pretend low Earth orbit today are two of the greatest geeks you're ever going to greet. I got a Chris Devona.
What's up?
And a Rob Roseboom.
Good morning.
Everybody's recovered from Stand By Me.
Sure.
I don't know. I got to tell you, it's an emotionally draining movie for me.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. Yep.
I have to assume that the black hole will be less so.
Well, you know, I do remember the first time I saw the black hole when I was a kid, and I was like, it was a little scary. There were parts of it where you're like, whoa. Like, there was this part where Maximilian does this thing near the end that you're like, oh, that's...
Hey, spoilers, man.
That's a lot for a Disney movie, you know? So...
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
But, you know...
I mean, it's not Murder the
Not
Younglings
sort
a lot, but it's a lot.
Yeah, not quite as gut-wrenching as Stand By Me.
No.
Well, let's see. The bulk of the news in the last couple of days, I suppose, in the last 24 hours.
It's all Jensen.
It's all NVidia.
For sure.
The 30, 70, 80, and 90 cards, which the best news is that means that my kids will get an upgrade as they get my card.
Okay, before we talk about
this guy,
what he said, can we talk about how he said it? So this is Jensen Huang. So Jensen and I used to be at the same gym off of San Antonio, so I got to know him.
Does he wear that jacket around?
He wears it in. He doesn't wear it while he's working out because that wouldn't make any sense, Mr. Malda. Have you worked out before? Anyway, so it was in this gym in an old bank building, you know, so it had like vaults everywhere, and it was actually a really good gym. The trainer was just absolute freaking unit, and he was teaching me how to box. Anyway, so Jensen and his co-founder, who nobody talks about, this guy Chris, they would show up in I kid you not, like paired Ferraris or paired Lamborghinis. You know, these beautiful like Aventadors and Huracans and stuff later, and just well, I think it was an Aventador. This was a long time ago, and
I mean, you got to do this.
You know,
you got to, if you're gonna time this, you got to. Was this during the Pascal era? Was this during?
No, this is before Pascal.
Oh,
this is before Pascal.
Not even.
This was like 12 years ago.
All right.
So I mean, this is a long time ago. And like I got to tell you, I admit I was that nerd, and I was like, you know, at some point you're gonna have to come to terms with what Linux means for NVIDIA, Jensen. And he's like, oh, you guys are always talking to me about this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, you know, the Linux people, they love this, but they can't use them because they you know, you got to open source your drivers. It's like, if I open source my drivers, AMD is gonna, ATI is gonna, and I was like, well, I mean, you're not wrong, but you know, the future is Linux, man. Of course, he was right and I was wrong, but you know, let's not. I'm like, you know, for graphics, I mean, it took until the last couple of years for the machine learning use case of Tesla cards, and it's not like the Tesla drivers aren't good; they're just not open source, right? So, yeah. Anyway, he would go on to hire some really remarkable developers. Mark, what was his last name? But he was just brilliant. Anyway, so. But what I want to talk about are spatulas.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
No one needs it. He collects spatulas. I mean, he's got a toe tag.
But just to be clear, in this shot, isn't that the video card sitting behind his spatulas?
Yeah, it is. No, remember he was like hiding them in different
places.
That's pretty cool. Like he put one in the oven. That was pretty cool. Yeah. But everyone, all they saw were spatulas. They were like, "What is going on with like the flower spatula?"
That should be your background image, Chris.
Spatula.
You should be flanked by like you take the screenshot, but then you know what? You should be able to use his architecture to put yourself in front of that background picture.
Well, you should be able honestly, I can just position him behind me, and you know, yeah.
But I bet the camera's on a tripod. I bet there's a thing that you could use to like get him out.
Wait.
Enough video.
I just need a few moments. I can make this happen.
You focus on that. We can talk about the actual video.
No, wait. We have to discuss the freeze behind him. So
he's been in front of this before too. Like I've seen other videos. This is his spot, man.
This is his spot. That freeze is absurd. Like you couldn't cook and then clean that There's no cleaning of the freeze, and I know he doesn't clean anything.
No, he has people for that.
He's got people for that, but
for
it's
sure.
like,
He might have people to
And also-
clean the people that clean that.
what is the American flag butter / spatula drip tray here? I mean, I don't understand.
Look,
I don't understand.
The questions about this man go much further. Like, for example, why is he wearing a leather jacket in his own kitchen? But
Well,
also,
apparently it's sheep's leather, and it's kind of like a members only jacket. Look at this. Look at the buttons.
during the Marbles
He's
demo,
a fit guy, you know.
during
He got
the
way more out of
Marbles
that gym
demo,
than
I
did.
think his head is a bust on the in the demo, which I thought was pretty
I
much
believe it.
the biggest flex that you can possibly have.
Yeah, I think
So
you're
let's
right.
see. The 3090 is the fastest video card in the universe. It
24
costs
gigabytes of DDR6 memory.
$1,400, $1,500, not too bad. Cheaper than or on par with the 2080 Ti's. But
And more expensive than a used Honda. Yeah.
Yeah, the 3080s are the ones that are at the price point that they will fly off shelves.
Yeah, it was like $699 for those, or
think so,
$799.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember. But like even the 3070, which is faster than a 2080 Ti, you know, I mean that sucker is $400, $499. I mean,
Yeah,
they're going to be minting money from that thing. You know?
for sure.
Assuming they can make it cheap enough. And I know they're probably using the 7-nanometer process over at TSMC for making them. But yeah, it's something else. Sorry, my ice maker is ice maker.
A man needs ice.
Well, you don't understand. I'm in the work from shed, right? And so I've got the ice maker. I've got the iced tea supply.
All
I've
the
got
accoutrements.
lemons. You know, I've got all the micro kitchen things that I need that I'm used to having at work. So
I understand. Do you have a display rack of tiny individually wrapped super organic snacks?
No, I do have a maker caddy full of like screwdrivers and that sort of thing. But no, I there's a fridge like 20 feet that way, but
I bet it's not as good as his fridge, though. I bet that man's fridge is a walk-in refrigerator large enough to store 6 to 8 bodies.
yeah, I would assume he would have a walk-in. This is probably the house kitchen, not the catering kitchen.
Oh,
So but yeah.
There's no way he doesn't have a Hobart walk-in. Probably a cooler and a freezer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I have a couple Charleston's, because we didn't want to use a normal fridge. But but we cook all the time. So Christine was a chef, so yeah.
I have a bunch of ribs in my Instant Pot right now. They'll be going on the grill
Mr.
at 4.
Fancy pants.
I have a relative who has a birthday today, so they're getting ribs.
Nice.
Let's see. The 3070 is at a good price point. The 3080 is probably what I would end up buying. I will, of course, be waiting for... I'm trying to figure out... Stevesus? I was trying to figure out how
You're
to
calling him... So it's Steve Jesus? Is that
I was
the
trying to
goal
figure
here?
out a portmanteau
Gienstas?
of Steve and Jesus, because his hair seems messianic to me.
Well, J2 Cents, he calls him, I think, Tech Jesus, or, Linus Tech Tips just calls him Tech Jesus, and everyone knows who he's talking about.
Tech Jesus. All right, maybe I'll adopt that, but I don't want to be a hangers on, man. I want to have my own things. But
Too late.
He went through all of the like 3,000 cards coming from the various other vendors, and I mean, really, what it comes down to is the heating, the heat management. Although my tentative plan has always been, since I started building a computer, I want to build like an open air thing that sits under a sheet of glass and like is a display piece. Like I have a thing in mind, and I might be building like a furniture type thing in my wood shop to go around it. I have a whole thing planned, but I was waiting for the thermals on these cards and the dimensions just before I start committing to lumber.
Well, it's my understanding the 3090 is a 3-slot card, so I can't adopt that on the machine in the workroom shed. But yeah, these are serious devices.
They did drop the USB-C port from the back of them, which made me grumpy because I actually ended up buying a 2070 because I needed another USB port.
What did you need another USB bus for, man?
Because I have a million random devices connected to this computer. Oh, yeah, that. Yeah. See, I have lots of devices attached. That's
Clearly.
that's the Ableton push thing. Let's see. Yeah, I was short a USB port, and so my deciding factor was between this or that or the 2070 or the 2060, and I was like, all right, I'll just get the 2070. It's got the USB-C port. But that might just be an excuse to get a new motherboard, and who doesn't need that excuse? So Amazon drivers, in order to get more work,
This is a great story.
are
Just
physically
truly
hanging their phones on trees near the warehouses or whatever the distribution points are in order to game the system to get more trips.
And the picture here is just fabulous. It's like, oh, the spring phones are in season.
Oh.
Let's go pick our spring phones.
Yeah, I like that. It's
It
actually
looks like they're using the pop sockets and the little thumb holders to to hang them, which I just think is brilliant.
I mean,
That is great.
the honor between these people must be strong because they are
Right.
obviously in competition with each other, and you would think that there would be a lot of incentive to steal these phones.
Yeah.
I also wonder if, like,
You're wrong.
the Android phones are like an early season phone, and then later you get the iPhone.
The iPhone SE.
Right.
I think that makes complete logical sense.
That seems likely. It actually reminded me a lot of there was a similar story early in the pandemic about Instacart or one of those where there are services basically that like Meta log in on the shopper side and just like try to collect all the orders they possibly can. And then when the Meta service gets the orders, it routes it to you individually to increase your probability of getting lucrative shopping runs from Instacart. And like, I mean, that sucks. It sucks that the systems work this way. I admire the ingenuity, but I hate that the systems make this like a reasonable tactic.
Yeah. I hear you.
See. So Disney Studios is preventing people. There was drive-in theaters apparently that wanted to show Black Panther in memoriam of Chadwick dying, and Disney shut them down, as Disney is prone to do.
They are Disney.
And they
Disney's
are
gone
instead
Disney.
they are instead showing 42. And
42?
yeah, that's the Jackie or the Jackie Robinson baseball movie.
Okay. Wait, so they're gonna let them show 42? Is that not a Disney movie?
I don't think it's a Disney movie.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I mean, this all feeds into like the same problem that we've been seeing a lot of, like as the film studios consolidate and as we switch to digital for all film distribution. The second run movie theater is screwed. The old timey movie theater is screwed. The film student is screwed. The independent theater is screwed. If you don't play by the rules, you don't get to do what is, in this case, like, they should just be allowed to do this for one weekend. I mean, Disney still gets their money. You know what I mean? Like, there should be like a douchebag window. Like when certain things occur, like a list of events, the douchebag window is now open. And if you do a douchebag thing during that window, it should count like tenfold. Like if a star of your movie dies, there should be like a 1 weekend moratorium. Like, you should just be allowed to show this. You still pay the regular fees, but like whatever the regular fee would be to show Black Panther in your theater, you still pay the regular fee. But to say no is just not cool, man.
No way. That intellectual property's never been hotter now. They have to figure out how to leverage that death as well as they can.
It is a little ghoulish, You know, you think they would have said, just listen, everyone can watch Black Panther this weekend for free in honor of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
They would look just like the best people if they did that.
Imagine
you
how
know?
much goodwill that would
There you go.
for both of them, you know? Like, just
Good job, Chris.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Can you put some spatulas around you though, like spread out?
Yeah, spatulas flying.
An array of kitchen utensils.
Well, the problem was, he actually takes up a fair amount of the image,
Yeah,
right?
so you gotta zoom. You gotta do some zoom work.
You gotta do some zoom work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really hate that this is something that they can do. And I mean, 30 years ago, this wouldn't have been a problem because theaters scattered throughout the land would have their film reels that they would be allowed under whatever the rules were to show. And maybe today it's easier and more of a problem because all these movies are streaming digitally anyway. But it just seems like, look, man, if your theater could have shown Black Panther 3 weeks ago, then your theater should be able to show Black Panther the week after the guy dies. And even if you weren't able to show, like the movie 3 weeks ago, there should just be a thing that's like, an important event has occurred. Like the window is open. You just have to be cool right now.
Yeah, that's not what the business is about, though, man.
No, you gotta
It's about making the money.
Capitalizing on the untimely death of talented actors.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm grumpy. So
Sorry.
Rob, I didn't actually read this one. I think you posted the guy in the jetpack.
Yeah, that's a weird one because I've been trying to find more about it, and no one seems to have any
I wanna see
further
a photo.
information. Other than saying that, in addition to the first pilot, there was another pilot who reported seeing the guy. And also seems like a really stupid idea to
Wow.
fly around in it.
So
Your
I bet
jetpack.
you this was just a drone with like a big one of those big fat running drones dragging something. I don't know. I just
Well, didn't it say it was at 3,000 feet?
Yeah.
that's really high for these.
Yeah.
So the jetpack is a little different. It actually has a wing, and it's got a couple of motors, and it can stay aloft a long time. These like little portable ones, they have very, very short flight time.
Very short.
Yeah.
We're talking like 6 minutes, right? By the time you get to 3,000 feet, you're dead.
Yeah.
In one of these. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Bring your parachute. It's a one-way trip.
It really is, and that's okay, if you're over the Mojave or something, or messing around in Wales, but if you're in downtown Los Angeles, you're not just saying, hey, let's pop it, it's just
right.
I can see people doing that with a drone, though. Absolutely.
In downtown LA, it's pretty likely that if you run out of gas, you're gonna fall from 3,000 feet, impale yourself on a COVID 5G tower.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll get the COVID as you fall from 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
Well, that Venice Beach is filled with people who just think that COVID's a hoax, and
Oh yeah.
you're like, oh man, California, we have our share of. So the town of Sebastopol actually made municipal Wi-Fi illegal because of the radio waves. Just there's some special places in this state. I love California. Don't get me wrong. It's just I know the limits of this place.
I'm sure there's tons of people there sharing the fact that only 6% of the people who got COVID died of COVID, not understanding at all how death certificates work and how morbidity works. It's very rare that you die of hepatitis, but it's not rare for you to have hepatitis and die of liver failure.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you understand how these things work, but.
Well, yeah, whatever. I guess like the QAnon types are like, well, they said he died of COVID and hepatitis. Right. And it's like, well, hold on a second. It's anyway.
One of these things is more critical than the other.
Well, I just think that they should get both of them, and then they can decide, which one they're dying of.
I don't know, man. I think, I liked earlier in the pandemic where there were all the studies where they were like, look at this huge spike in deaths. And notice how this huge spike in deaths doesn't exactly match the COVID deaths. Like COVID is this, and then there's also these deaths on top of it. And you're like, so that's probably either, if not COVID directly, it's like, somebody not going into the hospital for a medical thing because they're, they don't want to go into the hospital and they probably should have, things like that.
Right. And the thing that should surprise everyone is that number is 6%. I mean, the fact that an infectious disease in and of itself killing you without some sort of organ system failure of some sort is really, really rare, almost unheard of, just for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real surprise is that just that virus, somehow it didn't shut down your lungs. It didn't shut down your heart. It didn't give you encephalitis. It didn't shut down your kidneys or liver. Just somehow that infection killed you with nothing else. That is amazing. That's what you should wonder about, that number is so high. Anyway.
You're not wrong.
We're all in trouble, man.
Rant done.
Well done.
Thank you.
The thing I wanted to point out to y'all, there's the bust
there we
of
go.
Jensen.
Is that him? It looks like him.
Oh yeah, no, it's very much him. Yeah, it's a younger him, or I don't know. He's actually a really fit guy.
Yeah, he looks.
He could be 50, 60 years old, but he's
that demo was pretty dang neat. I did like their scaling comments. The previous version ran at 720p at like 25 frames per second, and this one was running at 2K. And it's at 30 frames per second, and they added all these new light sources. I mean, that's
this
neat.
one had one light and one indirect light. This had 130 lights.
Yeah.
The way that NVIDIA flexes in these videos, always just like, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. These people execute like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not enthusiastic about them buying ARM or anything, but man, they really.
Well,
while Intel's been screwing up, AMD and NVIDIA have been just knocking it out of the park.
This is all I want in any industry. I want somebody to kick butt so that everybody else has to scramble and kick butt harder. Thank you, AMD, for the last generation or two of Ryzen chips to finally get that going again. Thanks to NVIDIA to force things down the line. Guess what? Monopolies aren't incentivized to improve their things.
What?
I know. Let's see. Although now, let's see who will unseat NVIDIA. That'll be cool.
Well, I know that Intel has been working on their XE, video cards, but they got a long road to hoe. Row to hoe. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep, they're way behind.
They're way effing behind.
So, all right, The Boys comes out on Friday.
Ooh,
or maybe tomorrow.
That's great. I cannot wait to see what they did with Stormfront. I mean, having it out, basically a white supremacist in the 7 makes perfect sense.
It does.
It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. It's just a microcosm of America. Yay! Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else good actually occurring? I think we have pretty limited choices in terms of fun right now.
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah.
That's always true, though. But you know what we do have, and we'll always have? A crap ton of spatulas.
So many spatulas. I mean, like...
Oh, these spatulas, man.
I have
a spatula for every mood.
Yep.
A spatula for every American.
Yep. I just have a lot of things that I need to flip over in my skillet, and it seems like that'll work.
For sure.
You don't want a scraping spatula like that unless you're maybe making a very delicate omelet of some type.
Well, if you have a proper cast iron pan, you don't even need a spatula. You need a hot pad. So you can flip like a short order cook.
My wife makes excellent scrambled eggs, and I do not. And it's
Really?
it's a point of some contention between us because our children will not eat my scrambled eggs.
What's wrong with your scrambled eggs? Do you overcook them, or
I guess they're dry.
have you considered not being so dry?
I have considered a great many things, but I'm incapable.
Maybe you just need to turn down the heat.
It could be. It's just she showed me how she does it, and then I try it, and then mine don't look like hers. It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
So here's your 3090. That's 3070. Faster than a 2080 Ti. That blows my mind.
$500.
$500, man. $500. You notice how they're like, you can have it in October. You can have the 3080 now, though.
Oh, or you can just buy both, because some of you will.
Yeah, I'm actually, I've got a 2080 Super. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I can keep up with kind of. So.
Yeah,
it's funny, on the VR rig, I've got a 980 Ti, and that thing, it's kind of, it's better than a 1080. It's not as good as a 1080 Ti. I don't know. It's close there, but there's a point where I have to. I gotta ask, like, what's the point of all this power? Most people don't even have a 2440 display.
Well,
they're
some of the things that they talked about in this video kind of hint at that, right? They're partnering with monitor vendors to try to make like monitors that are like 300 plus frames per second display on the monitor. That's Looney
360
Tunes.
hertz
I don't
monitors.
know. I don't know where where the line of human perception is, but like the monitor that I'm looking at right now is running at I think 144, and I guess better would be cool, but I can't imagine like the leap from 60 hertz to 144 hertz. I can see that, I can feel that, but I don't know how much further beyond 144 I would care about. But I'm not playing esports either.
Well, he had a really interesting demo where they basically showed the aperture between two buildings or something, and I think it was Overwatch, or I don't know. But they were like, you have, 30 milliseconds to see and make a decision to shoot, and I thought it was a very interesting demonstration of why you'd want more frames and frankly a G-Sync monitor.
Yeah.
But
again, that's the problem here is I don't know where the line of diminishing returns is. But the 240 hertz monitors that exist right now, like I can't imagine it being more than that. And the same problem too, because they're also plugging on 8K displays, because these are the first displays capable of 8K display. But yet gamers, this is the first card that's going to make 4K gaming like something that people do. You know what I mean? Like for like modern, for like the first person AAA games. Everybody really kind of runs 2K for their gaming rigs.
No, when I'm seriously trying to shoot my friends in these games, I'm running at 1440 at the most. Even though I can do 4K, and the 2080 is decent at that, but frames wins games, man. Frames wins games.
That's true. But I guess the 8K. The 8K displays and the 300 hertz displays, those are flexes. They're not real, I guess, yet. In 8K displays, like I don't know. I have a 4K TV. I have a big 4K TV, and you could tell me, you can change that from 4K to 8K, but I'm not gonna perceive that. It's on the other end of my room. Or my 4K monitor, I'm not going to perceive more pixels on that. I can't see pixels. I can see pixels on a 2K display, but not on a 4K.
Yeah. So you're going to absolutely be buying the 3090 then, is what you're saying?
I'll probably do the 3080, but only because putting a 3-slot. I have
3 slots is a commitment.
Look at that. My current one is a 3-slot, and I hate it.
What do you mean you have a 3-slot video card now?
I have a 3-slot. Yeah, I got it. It was cheap, so I got a 3-slot.
3 slots is a lot. Are you sure you don't have a 2-slot? What are you running? Seriously,
it's a 2070.
There's no way 2070 is 3 slots. It's got to
Okay,
be 2
well.
slots.
I mean, I don't know how to tell you it's 3 slots. I installed it.
I just don't believe you.
Okay, that's cool.
What are they saying in the channel about you at this point? That's my question.
They're saying someone tell him about Spatula City.
Spatula City, Spatula City,
Almost-
Spatula
almost
City.
pretty much just on Spatula City.
Oh,
That's
like we
actually,
don't know about Spatula City?
UHF is on my list of movies to show my kids. There's a couple of scenes in that I don't think they would get, but Stanley Spadowski is one of the all-time favorite characters of all time, and it is, of course, the origination of the word fire hose, which is something that we had to spend far too much time staring at back in the day. Sure. Between the fire hose and Rob, I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago, I mentioned on Twitter that the origination of Daddy Pants was Austin Powers. And Jamie replied that he did not know that that's where that term came from. Like,
wow.
You must have read that word 5,000 times over the course of the better part of a decade.
Oh, way more than that. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, every email.
Yeah.
Who's got Daddy Pants? I've got Daddy Pants. Who's taking Daddy
Pants?
Pants.
Still optional.
Who's got the pants?
Ugh.
Pants on.
Put on your pants. Who's got the pants? All right, let's say goodbye to the universe.
Yeah, right.
We got things to do.
The whole universe?
Yep.
It's going to take a while. Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
I'm going to start with, good one. I was going to say Adam, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to go. 2 A's. 2 A's.
Forgot Aaron.
There's probably like an alien name like
Abby.
Abby.
We got to say goodbye to Abby.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
Abel.
Abigail,
Yep.
Abel.
And then
Abner.
three-quarters of the way through,
Oh.
we say goodbye to Rob, and both Robs have a little heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye,
Goodbye, Chris
Rob
Cabana.
Malta.
Goodbye, Avery, Aiden, Anthony, Aria, Amelia.
Yep.
Akon.
Bob,
Aegon.
Corey, the other Corey.
Both Corys.
Both
Elon.
Corys.
Tom.
Dave, Dennis. All right. I'm pushing the button.
Anna,
I'm Rob,
Alice,
Commander Taco Malta. Don't
Angel,
worry, they'll be muted soon. This has been episode
Axel,
508 of
Abe,
Geeks in Space.
Alexa.
Did we say goodbye to Allie?